Well, welcome to Metro's West Hyattsville station. I'm Randy Clark, the General Manager of Metro. Honored to welcome you all here today. Obviously, we have some of our most important community leaders, regional and federal leaders with us today. Obviously, so I'm going to keep my comments really short, but I wanted to highlight, this station is really important for us. Big connection here with Metro Rail, Metro Bus, our Prince George's partner, the bus itself. Obviously, a lot of walking, biking, rolling infrastructure, and that's what we're here to obviously celebrate today as well. And we have some transit area development actually facing this way that is being developed. So it's just one of those great examples of where transit goes, community really grows and flourishes. So really excited to be here with you all today. I just want to highlight this incredible partnership. Not only what makes this happen, but really makes Metro happen every day. So I'm not going to ever lose the opportunity to thank our incredible federal delegation, both senators, Congressman Ivey, and all of their colleagues for what they do for us every day nationally, but especially on the transit topic, and especially, I guess, on PREA specifically, I'll call out, which is a battle every year, but what they've done is amazing. And then people like County Executive Alsobrooks and all of our regional, state, and local partners. Metro has had a very significant funding challenge, as you all know. The job's certainly not done, but we all came together as a region to get us through at least the next couple of years, so we can continue to deliver great service. I want to highlight that great service just quickly. We are now carrying more people in the bus system than we did pre-pandemic, and we're leading all large transit operators in the United States on ridership recovery on bus. Big news. Outside of New York City, we are leading every large rail system in ridership recovery in the United States. Crime is down 30% year over year. Fare evasion is down 70% year over year. We won a national safety award. And what makes me super happy in the way we measure the system every day is customer satisfaction. On the bus side, 79%, the second highest in the history of Metro, only behind one quarter in 2013. And just this week, we hit 90% customer satisfaction on rail, the highest ever in the history of Metro. And that can't happen without the dedicated funding and the dedicated team members at Metro. And we have a lot of them in the area, including our public safety officers, custodians, station managers. And I think, if you all join me in just giving a round of applause for the great people that work here at Metro and what they do every day. So again, I am just honored that you're all here celebrating these improvements at West Hyattsville Station. And I'm going to call up quite frankly, someone at Metro we revere because as a nickname, I'm going to try this out, and if he doesn't like it, I won't say it again. But to me, like the father of PREA, and a couple people internally, and when I got here, told me all the stories about how Senator Cardin, how you worked so hard to put this together, and it is an annual fight. Should it be? Of course not, but it is. And we just thank you and your just amazing career, what you've done here for Metro, and just very appreciative. So welcome up.
Thank you, Tony. Well, to Randy Clark, first of all, congratulations. Randy, I'm congratulating you. Congratulations. That's good news. That's good figures. You're doing an incredible job here. It's not easy. So thank you very much. It's good to be your partner. Thank you for acknowledging what we've been able to get done, but it was a team. It's the fact that our delegation works closely together. So there is no surprise that we have one check here for $1,383,069 because everybody can see that. So that's not so. But let me tell you, there's two more checks behind that. So this is a big day for Prince George's County. And a couple points I want to just emphasize on that. One is that these funds are extremely competitive. Congratulations to Angela Alsobrooks, because you set up the way in which we could help you get the money that you need. We know that when we give you the money in Prince George's County, you're going to spend it the right way. So your grant applications were the best, and that's why you got the money. So congratulations to our county exec. And I'm going to single out my federal partners because we work together as a team. I want to first acknowledge Glenn Ivey, who is your voice, along with Steny Hoyer in Prince George's County, on the, we'll call them earmarks because they are earmarks, to get funds directed to the priorities in the county. And Glenn is one of our real leaders in the House. And I'm going to tell you something. There are battles in the House. In the Senate, we do have some challenges, but in the House, it's Mount Everest they have to climb at times. So Glenn's done a great job in establishing the priorities, working with the county exec, working with local officials. And then Senator Van Hollen and I do something that is truly unusual in the United States Senate. We work together. We share all information. We do that so we can get the maximum amount of help for projects in Maryland. And it's worked. And it is very helpful that I have a colleague that serves on the Appropriations Committee, because that's where the money comes from. And Chris has done a fabulous job in making sure our priorities make it into the federal checkbook so we can bring checks with us. So, Chris, it's been a pleasure to work with you. Glenn's a pleasure to work with you. We work together as a team. I serve on the Environment and Public Works Committee, and we're going to talk about some infrastructure today that goes through, and many of these programs go through the committee I serve on authorization. But these are important projects. They are so important. This station that we're talking about here, this West Hyattsville station, we're going to make it friendlier for people. We have a big check we're going to give you for that. But that's going to make it easier for pedestrians and people with bikes to be able to access this area. And we're going to deal with the reality of climate change, to deal with climate resiliency, because that's real, that's happening. So we're going to give you the help because you came in with the program that's going to make this station more accessible, friendlier, safer, so more people can use transit, which is critically important for our economic growth. So that's one of we've got a couple others that we're going to give you here also. We're proud that we're going to work with you in regards to the Anacostia watershed. We know the port cities and the surrounding counties, cities here have challenges with flooding. We love the Anacostia. We've done a lot of great things on it. People are really using it now. And the county's been committed to the environmental restorations to make it a friendlier place. Well, we're going to give you a federal, I would say give you, this is federal, this is your taxpayers, the money going to Washington, we're giving it back to you. So it's your money anyway, but we want to make sure it gets back to you. So we're going to get you $1,383,000 to help in regards to the watershed. And then we have one for the Washington Suburban Sanitation Commission to deal with. Here's an issue that people don't always realize. You don't see the problems. Sometimes you may smell the problems. Sometimes you may wonder what's happening when you get backups in your home. Sometimes you may wonder whether the tap water you're drinking is as clear as you would like it to be. And if you have a septic system, it's even more challenging at times. And we're going to give you help because we know the WSSC will use it the right way to provide what I think is essential services. I use this frequently. If you go back 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, we had the best water systems in the world. But we haven't paid attention to it the way we need to because of tough government budgets. And the ratepayers are really stretched. So we need to provide assistance to make sure we have the best water in the world. And we can do that. And we're going to help with a legislative earmark for $1.6 million for that. So you total this all up, Angela? If my math is right, we're somewhere around, let's look at, oh my goodness, we're close to $3.5 million so we brought today. That's not a bad day's work. But I want you to know, and I mean this sincerely, I've been blessed. I've been able to have two partners during my 18 years in the Senate that have been incredible in working for the people of Maryland. First, Barbara Mikulski, and now Chris Van Hollen. Chris is so intent on making sure we use every opportunity, and he's so in tune with the community to make sure that we represent the community priorities. It's been a real honor to serve with Chris in the United States Senate, and he is really the one who will coordinate all of our work to make sure that we deliver for the people of Maryland. Chris Van Hollen.
Well, thank you, Ben Cardin, and it is great to be here today to celebrate these very important federal investments in Prince George's County. All of them have one theme in common, which is to improve the quality of life for the people of Prince George's County and in this region. And in order to move forward at the federal level, you need a really good partner and partners at the county level. And we could not, the three of us, have asked for a better partner than County Executive Angela Alsobrooks. And she clearly has a focus on the immediate needs of the people of Prince George's County, as she should, but she's never taken her eye off the future. And if you look at the three investments we're talking about today, they're all about strengthening the future. Senator Cardin mentioned them, so I'm going to just try to review them quickly and maybe add a few points. But before I do, I want to, first of all, second what Senator Cardin said about Glenn Ivey. Because Glenn was one of the newer additions to our delegation, but he did not waste a moment in getting to work on all aspects of representing his congressional district, including through the appropriations process. So, Glenn, thank you for being an amazing partner on these efforts. And it's, as Senator Cardin said, that the Senate can be rough, but the House of Representatives, God help you all, But I'm glad you're there. Let me just say a word about Senator Cardin, our friend Ben, because as all of you know, he's decided not to seek re-election. But the fact that he's here today and the fact that he's helping deliver on these important priorities shows that he has been absolutely committed now, as he has been through his entire career in public service, to Prince George's County, to Maryland, and the United States of America. He serves on, he glossed over a little bit, he's on the key authorizing committee, and he chairs a key subcommittee. So let's give it up for our friend Ben Cardin, and thank you, Ben, for your friendship, your leadership, and he's quarterbacked Team Maryland, and he's done it so well by making sure we work together. Senator Cardin gave away the final headline, close to $3.5 million of investments today, beginning here at the West Hyattsville Metro Station. Mayor Crossland, it's good to see you. Thank you and your fellow the council members for your commitment here in Hyattsville. And if you look at the metro system, we are so lucky to have Randy doing the job he is. He just passed his 2-year mark yesterday. Is that Randy Clark? So let's give it up again, if we could, for his work. You heard the measures that he and his team have made. Post-COVID, Metro is coming back stronger than ever and doing better than its national counterparts. And that's a testament to his leadership and to the team at WMATA. And I do have good news on the federal front, which is that just yesterday in the appropriations subcommittee, it's called the THUD, T stands for transportation, we got to get it through the House, but we provided the upcoming annual commitment of $150 million from the federal government to the Washington metro system. As we know, metro stops are not only places where people come and go. They are also hubs for community development. And if you look around here, you can see that with the investments that are being made and the private sector initiatives, we're seeing townhouses, we're seeing multifamily houses, we're seeing a whole community grow up around this metro center. That was not by accident. That was by design, and $500,000 of the funds today are going to help with making that community more pedestrian friendly, hiker-biker trails, signage, all sorts of things to help fill in the gaps in the common areas. And so when I think of metro stations, yes, I think of a place you get on and off the metro, but I also think of places where communities grow. That seed was planted in 1993, and now we're seeing the benefits through the community surrounding the metro. Senator Cardin mentioned the $1.3 million for flood control. We are all in the middle of facing the climate change crisis. We need to make sure that our infrastructure can adapt. We need to build to last. And these funds will be used, number one, for some additional studies, but also some newer technologies in terms of flood control, immediate barriers, inflatable barriers. And Prince George's County is going to be among the pioneers for these new technologies. And I dare say that we will see the rest of the state and others around the country look once again to the example of Prince George's County as you move forward with these new technologies. And finally, it's great to have the general manager of WSSC here, Keisha Powell. Great to see you again. I do have to get my WSSC pin to go with my WMATA pin. Kenny, I know you'll have one in a minute. But let me just say something here, because Senator Cardin made the point that we often think of above ground infrastructure when we think of infrastructure. We often only realize how important the underground infrastructure is when things go wrong. But clean water and sanitation are dependent on what our friends at the WSSC do, both here in Prince George's County and in Montgomery County, and making sure that we get some of those homes that have been on septic systems off of the septic systems and connected. Not only is good for those homes, but it's good for all of us because we all suffer when we have runoff and leakage into our waterways, whether it's the Potomac, the Anacostia, or the Chesapeake Bay. So that investment in WSSC is going to be very, very, very important going forward. And when you tally all those investments up, it is close to 3.4 million. But again, I want to underscore the theme. The theme here is looking to the future, making investments right now that we know will pay big dividends to our community in the future. And that has been the hallmark of County Executive Alsobrooks' leadership as county executive with her team. So wonderful to be here. Let me now bring up our great partner from the House of Representatives, Glenn Ivey, who is going to make sure that we not only make sure these checks don't bounce, but is also going to help deliver in fiscal year 2025. All right, Glenn Ivey.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. And as Ben mentioned, it's fantastic to have a friend like Chris Van Hollen on the Appropriations Committee, because, you know, the money doesn't just show up. You got to have people that fight for it and make it happen. And Chris has been doing an outstanding job, not only for this project, but across the board. So thank you for your outstanding work for us all. And to Ben, I think I met you in, I want to say 1987. I think you were first elected to the House, if I recall correctly. And my wife, Jolene Ivey, actually, we weren't even married yet. Became one of his press secretaries. And I found out immediately that he was a man of great integrity, strong commitment to the work, deep commitment, not only to the people of Maryland, but to the United States. And he's been a fantastic senator for us. And I really just want to take yet another opportunity to thank for him for his great work and the fantastic legacy he's leaving. I get to introduce Angela in a moment, so I'll come back to her. Keisha, I thank you for the work that you're doing at WSSC. I know these are challenging times, heavy lifts, but appreciate the fantastic job that you're doing as well. And, you know, the WMATA story is really something special, I think. I mean, this has not been an easy time to lead this entity in the way that you have and to be so successful with it in such challenging times. So thank you for the great job that you've done. I really appreciate it. As they say, without vision, the people perish. And I think this is an example of a great vision coming together. And I can think of little pieces here and there. And, you know, I hadn't been here in a while. I had a campaign office across the street, strategically located within walking distance of the Kentucky Fried Chicken over there. And you know, saw this area, and actually Jolene and I first moved out to Mount Rainier in 1988, I think it was. And this area, it took vision to see this day coming. But I think it's really been a gigantic step forward for the community. I see my friends out here from Gilbane who've been playing a big role in the work that's over there. I remember talking with them about what was going to come down the road, and he was pointing at an empty field over there and a parking lot or whatever, and I was like, yeah. But it is incredible to see it coming together the way that it has. So thank you for the difference that you've made in making that happen. But really, the maestro of this public-private partnership, the person who's really brought it all together and made it happen, and is going to be our next senator, is Angela Alsobrooks, our county executive, doing a great job. Angela, come on up. Come on up. Thank you for the great work that you've done. I look forward to working with you, continuing to work with you in the future, and keep up the great work.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everyone. How fortunate are we to have an opportunity to celebrate again the progress here in Prince George's County. I want to start by thanking this incredible federal delegation who has represented us just so beautifully. In fact, we have been at so many of these press conferences as of late because they have delivered literally for Prince George's County hundreds of millions of dollars. We've been fortunate to see so much investment around transit, and it has been just spectacular. So to this delegation, thank you so much. Senator Cardin, you know, part of what I love about Senator Cardin is his quiet, efficient way. He is a senator who comes without a lot of fanfare, but he is constantly delivering. And I agree with Senator Van Hollen, as well as Congressman Ivey, that I see him everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I do mean everywhere. He is working so hard and has done so over decades. And so we owe you a debt of gratitude. We thank you so much. And you know what? And we're seeing the great progress of your work. To Senator Van Hollen also, who have had the chance to stand at a number of these microphones over the last couple of years, whether it's been delivering the money that we needed for the Central Avenue Transit Trail, or whether it's been New Carrollton, the same with Congressman Ivey, close to $100 million in 2 years. It's just been, you know, one big investment after the next. And what is so significant about the investment and what makes us so happy is that we recognize that we are planning for the future. And we recognize that although we have an obligation to provide ongoing services for our residents, we recognize that we likewise have a profound responsibility to continue preparing for the future. And the way that we have decided to do that, our economic development plan has been to invest around transit-oriented development. So I want to say thank you so much, Mayor Crossland. Thank you so much for being here as well. Thank you for your tremendous leadership. I think the act speaks for itself in Hyattsville, which we are so very proud of the way that this community is growing. And to all who have really contributed to it, the teams that are here, we know that no person does this work alone. So I also want to acknowledge the folks in my administration who are just making magic happen all across the county, as well as I want to thank the leadership of WSSC. Randy Clark, that is the information you shared, you will hear again. I'm going to add it to my bragging points when I start talking about Prince George's County and all of the ways that we're succeeding here. So thank you so much to all of you. Now, my colleagues have already talked about the importance of federal investments here. And so I really want to focus on what these infrastructure projects mean for both the growth and the climate resilience of Prince George's County. Just take, for example, the flood control project that we funded in Anacostia River watershed. What we know is that all across the region, many advocates have worked to clean up the Anacostia. Whether it's something as simple as taking school-age kids on a tour, advocating on behalf of clean waters, or securing congressional funding, restoring this mighty waterway has been a community effort that was made all the more urgent by the looming impacts of man-made climate change. So way back in 1608, when Captain John Smith sailed into the Anacostia River, he marveled at the depth and clarity of the water. But industrialization, farming, and population growth have degraded the natural systems that supported this river. So we see it over time that flooding along the Anacostia roadways and we see the flooding all along the Anacostia. Roadways and homes across the Anacostia watershed in Prince George's County have, as a result of this, been filled with water and mud in urban areas inside the Beltway. We see it in areas like Bladensburg, Colmar Manor, Riverdale Park, Cottage City, Hyattsville. These are the communities that experience flooding problems, and the fallout of this flooding disproportionately impacts lower income and minority residents. That's why I'm so proud to be here today with all of you, informing our residents that we've done something about the flooding. I hear it all over how much concern there is about flooding, but we've secured over $1 million to protect these urban communities and to promote environmental justice for Prince George's County. These funds mean that our river is a priority. They mean that the communities that have been disproportionately affected and often overlooked are a priority. And this project also brings about so much hope for thousands of Prince Georgians who are impacted every day by flooding, and a hope for a future where we finish restoring this historic waterway. In a separate funding request, WSSC now has access to over $950,000 in funds to extend public sewer service to existing homes in historically disadvantaged communities. And by extending the public sewer system into this historically disadvantaged community, we provide them a chance at new growth. Under state law, these systems must be paid for by the property owner. But many low-income households simply cannot afford the huge expense of connecting to the sewer system. Many of these communities rely on septic systems that are failing or cannot be repaired. Now we can build out our public sewer to protect homes, homeowners, and the character of these historic communities in Prince George's County. Now, any project that keeps our residents safe and secure in their homes, we know, and we thank you for that, is absolutely worth celebrating. And finally, here at the West Hyattsville Metro Station, we have been able to secure, and again, I want to thank Senator Cardin pointed this out. This doesn't happen just because. These are all competitive grant processes, and I want to just say we are really grateful that we have the talented individuals who have been applying for these. We've secured over $500,000 to improve pedestrian safety, connecting the metro to communities nearby with paths and trails. And at the same time, we're expanding green space, incorporating art, and making floodplain improvements to make sure that this stop stays operational for years to come. So I want to thank also, again, we've said it before, but our partners at the Gilbane Development Company for partnering up with us, and he's here today to construct this transformative development that is taking place here. This may seem like a straightforward investment and basic upgrades to our metro station, but I can assure you that these dollars mean so much more to Prince George's County. Our community is in the midst of an economic revolution. Now, new high-tech companies are building their headquarters here. Firms are making billions of dollars in long-term investments in communities along our transit corridors, and thousands of new homes are under construction, filling the promise of our plans for transit-oriented development that builds community, adds amenities, and protects the environment so that we can enjoy the beauty of nature right here in Maryland. This federal investment, and we have more excitement back there. I'm going to say thank you so much, and this is exciting. I appreciate that. This federal investment in pedestrian improvements is a federal vote of confidence in our ongoing effort to create walkable, bikeable, amenity-rich communities that bring people together. And the kinds of places where our residents can walk to the grocery store, we want them riding to the metro and spending time in a park that's just a few steps away from their own doorsteps. These pedestrian safety improvements help us achieve our vision for life in Prince George's County, making use of our underutilized transit options and future-proofing our communities for future growth. So they may look like simple bike lanes and trails, but here in Prince George's County, they're a sign that we are moving forward. So once again, I want to thank all of our federal partners, WSSC, WMATA, and all the other people who made these important investments happen in Prince George's County. Every single dollar is an investment and an even brighter future for our community. And I also want to just give a double thank you today to the General Manager and CEO of WSSC Water, Keisha Powell. She is a tremendous leader. Her leadership has made a difference. But I also have to tell you how forward thinking she is. She's not only mission focused, but she's people focused. And so I want to thank her for bringing a thermos full of ice and water for all of us out here. The two of us have been sweating it out, sitting out here. And thanks to her, we have this water to consume. So we wanted to say thank you so much. I want to invite her to give remarks. And again, thank you so much to everyone today.
Thank you, County Executive Alsobrooks. I cannot take credit for those the team did, but I am people focused, and especially on Team H2O. Good afternoon, and thank you, Congressman Ivey and Senators Cardin and Van Hollen for delivering yet again for Prince George's County residents and WSSC water customers in Prince George's and Montgomery counties. I'm Keisha Powell, General Manager and CEO of WSSC Water, and I would like to recognize our commission board members who are here today, Commissioner Lynette Espy Williams and Commissioner Fausto Bayonet. I'll just take a moment. I'm going to deviate from my talking points slightly. During my interview, one of the things I talked about with the commissioners was finding funding for this program to connect unserved and underserved communities to public sewer. And after years of looking for funding or ways to fund this program. So the funding that we are getting today, the $1.6 million, is a start. So in a year and 8 months, we were able to get funding for this program. So promise made, promise kept. For over a century, yes, the men and women of WSSC Water, Team H2O, as we affectionately call ourselves, have proudly provided high-quality drinking water to the residents and businesses in Montgomery and Prince George's counties and safely returned clean water to the environment. This track record of water quality excellence and environmental protection is a testament to the passion and commitment of our workforce to maintain over $9 billion in infrastructure assets. But it's also a testament to the unwavering support we have received and continue to receive from our federal delegation members, County Executive Alsobrooks, and all of our elected officials. Mayor Crossland, thank you so much for your support as well. We consider ourselves an anchor institution, and as an anchor institution, going beyond our mission to make sure that we are uplifting the communities that we serve. We are gratefully accepting this funding and will use it to further our efforts to advance environmental justice and lift up those historically unserved and underserved communities. This crucial funding will enable residents with aging septic systems to connect to our wastewater collection system, which will save residents thousands of dollars by covering the cost of extending their service lines to connect to the sewer. Connecting homes with aging septic systems to our sewer system, as Senator Van Hollen said, is so critical because we want to make sure that everyone is living in communities with safe, clean drinking water and clean water services, and that we're protecting the environment. Because a typical septic system has an estimated operating life of around 30 years, many systems are close to failing or have already failed. And this means untreated wastewater may run off into streams and waterways. And folks just don't go out and make a connection because it's so expensive. The costs can range from $50,000 to $300,000 or more as homeowners pay to extend public sewer lines, install a service connection to the new main, and construct on-site plumbing in the home and abandon the existing septic system. We are going to continue to work closely with our federal partners at the Environmental Protection Agency and officials in both counties to ensure this funding reaches those who need it most. On behalf of WSSC Water, thank you again for your unwavering support of protecting public health, safeguarding our environment, and driving equity and environmental justice. These funds will also help create jobs, because for every $1 million we invest in water projects, there is an economic impact of 15 to 18 jobs, which is on par with investment in the military, clean energy, healthcare, and transportation. Speaking of investing in water, on a personal note, I want to thank you, Congressman Ivey, Senators Cardin and Van Hollen, and the Biden-Harris administration for securing the passage of the landmark bipartisan infrastructure law, which included historic levels of funding. And I think it was just maybe a day or two into your tenure, Congressman Ivey, when I came to your office, your boxes were still packed. We had an appointment for 15 minutes and you gave me an hour to hear the need for water infrastructure investment. Each of the senators gave us the same amount of time, though I know your schedules were very busy, and I spent a great amount of time talking with County Executive Alsobrooks as well, one-on-one, to make the case for supporting water infrastructure investment. So I personally want to thank you. To coin a phrase from one of my colleagues in the South, I worked in Atlanta before here. He said, policies reflect the values of the people that are in power. And we are so fortunate to have each of you in positions of power supporting us. So thank you so much for inviting us today.
We're going to invite my elected official, Mr. Mayor. We want you to join us also up here as we present the checks to the county exec, WSSC, and to.
All right. Everybody good?
Very good. Everybody right here? Here? Yes, we can. All the rest of the WSSC.
Everybody take the slips together.
Okay, everybody ready? Right here. Beautiful. Here.
All right.
All right.
Everybody.
Right.